wonderful week. It's been amazing to see you. Our super learners this week are Florence and Tabitha. Well done, and we hope you enjoy the rainbow learning this week.
Okay, good morning, 6JP. So, super learners this week. Well done, Evie, for your mountain diary entry. Well done, it was really, really good. And obviously for your brochure as well. And Amelie, your diary entry was excellent too, so well done you too. Meg, your maths has been brilliant over the last few weeks, so you should be getting super learner, of course, this week. And Lulu, your all-round effort and your artwork is brilliant. Well done you four.
Hi Foyam! I am still reeling from our fantastic week together last week. It was so nice to have you all back together at school again. My super learners this week, although it was quite difficult, and really each and every one of you is a super learner, but this week I'm going to have to give a special shout out to Mia and Max and Tom. Thank you very much, guys.
Hello 5EC, very well done to you all for making it to the final week of Google Classroom work. You have done fantastically during this period. You've had lovely enthusiasm towards the work, positive working attitudes as always, and as far as I'm concerned, you are all superstars and you have made me so proud. So very well done you, thank you for your hard work. Special superstar shout outs go this week to Josie Fraser, first of all, for your amazing engagement in our English topics last week. You worked so hard. You were contributing to discussions really well, you had some amazing ideas and even started the odd debate or two, so very well done you. You helped us to really get in depth into our topic, so thank you very much. Also, well done to Amber Wright for your amazing TT Rockstars score. You worked so hard and did very, very well, so good job you. Very well done to all the VIPs for your amazing enthusiasm for our science experiment on Thursday. Your ability to work scientifically really impressed me and got some brilliant results. So very well done all of you. Thank you again 5EC for being so awesome. See you in September.
Well, good morning everyone and welcome to our last Perseverance Assembly for the half term, and we're drawing obviously ever closer to the end of term, and well done again to those people that have made it to our GGS Super Learner Board, and I think you'll agree that that number has grown quite significantly over the last few weeks. There was quite a bare patch round here, so well done to all those new nominations, the likes of Tom, Amber, Meg, Flossie, Tabitha, Lorelei, Josie, Evie, Lulu, quite a lot of Marjans getting a mention this week, as well as Saturnites. Well done to you. Here in the call to arms last week, likes of Jasmine, Josh, Max, Mia and Amelie, and Charles, the only Neptunite. Well done to you. I thought it was also very fitting that as we're drawing close to our Perseverance theme and we're drawing ever closer to the end of term, I thought it was about time we actually mentioned a super job that the staff have done at GGS. I'm sure you'll agree that obviously we've been in a position to welcome back our year sixes. They've been back a number of weeks now, and also we've had year 5, year 4, and this week we welcome back year 3 for our final week. I thought it was also fitting, as we're drawing a close to these assemblies, I draw your attention here to Mrs. Samson as well, my fine camera person. I've given her a red sticker because obviously being the supporter of Manchester United, even though she probably doesn't really would appreciate that. But again, joking aside, well done to everyone that's got us through to this stage of where we are in the term. It's been a fantastic effort by so many people all over and all around the school community. And we're very lucky to be in the position that we're in, and year 3s again are really finishing off a really fine last sort of few weeks by coming in, having their final week, and hopefully an enjoyable week. I'm sure it will be an enjoyable week, and then hopefully we can finish on a real high on Friday, where the year 6s will also finish. I thought it was also fitting that you'll see normally we have quite a display here of what the perseverance means to you and various pieces of work, so this looks quite bare. So I thought I'd just, I suppose, give you a little bit of a teaser as to what the next value is going to be. And now, after speaking to Mrs. Nash, who obviously is our wonderful creator of all our displays. This is Willie. This is Willie the Wimp, and he's in. If you know the story, he's in our sort of GJS tracksuit, and even got little GJ trainers, which I'm quite impressed about. The sort of the attention to detail from Mrs. Nash is quite spectacular. So if you can remember, because obviously the older children might know what value this is associated with, and again there'll be opportunities to pause. This might be a good opportunity to think, if you know the story, what might be a fitting value to go alongside this story, because this little fella here is going to be going up here. He's going to be replacing the perseverance board, and this fella's going to be ready for you guys in September, so we'll look forward to seeing him. Once again, there'll be opportunities to pause throughout. Please again take up that option, because there are nice things that you can sort of pick apart and maybe have that discussion at home. It's really important that you try and find time to do that, because the point of today's session, to round off everything, is very much related to our Mental Health First Aid England 10 keys to sort of healthy living and happier living that we did a couple of weeks ago. And that's going to be on like our weekly wellbeing checkup, and I know that Mrs. Farrow's videos alludes to some of those things, so it'll be a nice way of actually rounding off our perseverance theme, and also thinking about maybe the weekly wellbeing checkup. What can we do come September, whether you're moving on to a new school or whether you're going to be still at GJS, to think about each week about how you are actually feeling over the course of the weeks. Obviously in September, the look of Godalming Junior School, similar to what you've experienced in the last few weeks if you've been back, is going to be quite similar as well. We're going to have to keep some measures still in place, but we do need to make sure that we're all supporting each other, and actually having this weekly wellbeing checkup might be a quite nice way of gauging our physical and our mental health. But quickly, just a little recap, if you can remember, you'll see some images over the course of the assembly, and just a little recap, if you like, of what we've covered so far in our Perseverance assemblies. We very much kicked off me taking you through a whistle-stop tour of my life, really, and how opportunities have arisen over the course of my life, where I reflected on elements of perseverance that were shown. Then we looked at various people through history and the public eye that have become famous, but we don't always see the efforts that they make, and all the sort of trials and tribulation that gets them to their places, the likes of Walt Disney and various other people that we looked at. We looked at stories as well. Emmanuel's Dream, the true story of the amputee who actually, didn't let the sort of disability, the physical disability, restrict him from, pursuing his dreams and really sort of having a fruitful life. We looked at Mary Seacole last week. Again, that often forgotten person in history. We always know about Florence Nightingale, but Mary Seacole was one that was almost like a story that was rediscovered, and what a fantastic story it was. And of course, a few weeks ago as well, we looked at Saru and his story of perseverance, of trying to retrace his steps using Google Earth to actually find his family, his original sort of birth family in India, after being adopted and having to move to Australia. So some fantastic examples over the course of our 5 or 6 weeks that we've had looking at perseverance, and we're just going to finish off, I suppose, looking at these weekly wellbeing checkups. And it's quite a nice 4-stage process, this weekly wellbeing checkup, and you're basically asking yourself a number of questions, whether it's each day, each week, and maybe trying to reflect back on, okay, what's contributed to that I might need to change in my lifestyle. And I'm sure there's adults, your parents might be able to relate to this sort of check-up as well. We have posters of them around the school, but it's obviously very easy to miss with so much sort of going on. But the first one is about asking yourself where your mental health is today. And how do you feel today? How do you feel mentally? And how do you feel physically? And then trying to sort of link that to certain things. Is it because of work stresses that may be making you feel mentally unwell? Or have you gone on a really draining run or physical exercise that makes you physically unwell? But these are the sort of questions we want to be asking ourselves. And then after that, how are you looking after your well-being? So are you drinking enough water, eating a balanced diet? We talk quite a lot throughout the school year about having a healthy lunchbox and looking at the sort of various elements we've got on our school website about how you can have that sort of healthier lifestyle. Obviously making sure our water bottle's full and so on. Whether you slept well the previous night, sleep has a massive impact on your mental health and well-being. It's important that we do get the right amount of sleep. Do you feel rested when you woke up? That's also, I know it might be quite hard to wake up sometimes, but do you feel like you've had a good night's sleep? Or were there things that were racing around in your mind? And if so, you need to maybe sort of talk to someone about that. And is there anything you can improve? It might be going to bed earlier, it might be having less screen time. We know how much screen time plays a massive part on sleeping patterns. So that's another sort of section. And then moving on, how's your thinking today? How are your thoughts making you feel? Am I having unhelpful thoughts and maybe these things that keep buzzing around in your head about whether it's reaching deadlines, whether it's homework or whether it's friendships or all those sort of things? And obviously a really fantastic way of, I suppose, overcoming those thoughts is actually having some dialogue with someone about that, whether it's someone at home, whether it's a member of staff here, whether it's a friend, rather than bottling them up, actually speaking to someone about them. And then some resources, if you see on the pictures throughout the assembly, you'll see some images, but you'll also see some nice websites and web links that you could maybe visit on top of that. And then I know Mrs. Farrow has referred to this in one of her videos, is about your stress container. And this is a really important feature, and the older we get, I think we need to be more aware of our stress container and not making sure that it doesn't overflow, but you have little release valves as to how you, I suppose, release the pressure and that stress. So how full is your container, and what is your container full of? Again, is it, again, meeting deadlines? Is it the fact that you want to get better at your maths? Is it you want to get better at your English or your artwork? Or is it a friendship issue that seems to be, again, sort of buzzing around in your head? And am I using helpful coping strategies as to whatever they are? And if you refer back to one of my challenges, which again you'll be able to see on YouTube, I do refer to some of those things that help you share with me the things that help you sort of relax. It might be reading a book, it might be getting some physical exercise. I think physical exercise, where possible, you want to be trying to do as much of that as possible. That's a fantastic way of releasing endorphins and taking your mind off maybe stresses or pressures that are happening at that time. It might be listening to music, it might be playing a musical instrument, it might be just hanging out with your friends. It's making sure we have those little release valves, because actually during that time you might start to think about some strategies and actually trying to sort of overcome those pressures, and actually it's not as bad as maybe originally thought, because I've had too much time stressing about it, sitting at home in my room on my own, rather than actually getting out, speaking to someone, getting out into the fresh air, getting some natural light, and these are all good things for our body and our well-being. And once again, there's some more information on the screen that you'll be able to see. One of those things that coping strategies might be for your parents as well. So there's a little segment here for your parents around the addressing your stress sort of focus for mental health first aid, and about the things to try and the things to avoid, which might make stress worse. So the things to avoid are sort of things that are quite obvious, I think, that you might know already. They're not overdoing it on sugar, the caffeine, the alcohol, and they might be initial quick fixes, but they can actually make matters worse. The overworking, I think some of us have been guilty of that in the past. checking emails and out of hours, and making, make it almost it sort of dominates your entire life, having your tablet or having your phone buzz when there's notifications. We just need to make sure that we avoid that where possible and actually have that switch off time. The chasing perfection, it's something I've referred to as well in a challenge in previous assemblies. It can create unrealistic expectations, and actually you just accept mistakes when they happen, because everyone makes mistakes. We talk to the children about mistakes are a part of the learning process, and rather than speak to children and preach to children about that, we've got to practice that as well. And actually we make mistakes as well. We make mistakes throughout our entire life, and we shouldn't sort of beat ourselves up about it. And similar to the stress container, the not bottling up your feelings, and assuming that they'll go away. And again, this can make things more sort of damaging in the long run. On the flip side, the things we should try and do, and things I've referred to already in the assembly, is to get moving. Getting physical and mental health are connected. Eating well and getting that exercise will make a massive, massive difference. Setting aside time to have fun and indulge yourself. We need to make sure we're doing that. And actually, if you need to have it on your sort of a calendar, that you sort of X out certain days or certain times of day where it's quality you time, then you need to make sure that you're doing that. Learning a new skill is mentioned, whether it's painting, playing guitar, a new language. These are all things that actually help generate different parts of the brain that we can become a bit sort of lazy at the older we get. And I often say to the children through various assemblies, that when they're at this school age, then that is the perfect time to be learning a language, learning a musical instrument, because they're very much like sponges at that age. And when I referred to times when I learned to play the guitar and badly, and as I've made a sort of joke of that, I didn't start to learn to play the guitar until I was about 18 and 19 at university. And if people are learning that, and children are learning that at age 7, 8 or even earlier, that's a fantastic start, and it's likely to stick. The ability to read music and to be able to play the piano, that's likely to stick the earlier we do it. But again, it's never too late to start, as I'm sort of a living proof of that. I've mentioned it earlier in the assembly as well about the sharing how you're feeling. It's okay to ask for help. Again, we preach that to children. As adults and as parents, we've got to be able to have that ability to do that as well. As hard as it may be for some people, we must be able to be able to do that, because it is going to help that sort of problem shared, so to speak. And similar to the overworking, the switching off from distractions, and again making time for yourself, leaving your phone at home if you take the dog for a walk or whatever it might be. And and again, this is something for the children as well when they go off to secondary school. The amount of children I see when I walk to school, it might be just that they don't want to have sort of eye contact with Mr. Samson, but there's enough children that seem to have their heads down in their phones, and that's something we just need to try and get away from, I think, and actually, where possible, really take in the sights and the senses that we've got around us, and actually we need to model that as adults as well. And where possible, again, just leaving no tablets and the phone aside, and maybe putting it on silent or changing the notifications or whatever it might be, because they're sort of not always the helpful distractions. So there's a couple of things there, well, quite a few things there that you might want to sort of go over, again, discuss as a family. I think it'd be really helpful to do that, particularly with the summer holidays coming up, because actually it'd be nice time during that time to practice some of those things that have been mentioned, and then maybe start afresh in September. We're going to be starting a new year, new children are going to be starting at the school, and we've also got a quarter of the school that are going to be moving on, and what a good opportunity it will be for you in year 6 to start in September with some of those strategies up your sleeve that will help you in that first initial phase of making that transition, going to a new setting, a larger setting with new people, new teachers, new expectations, and these things that I've mentioned today will help. And I'm sure some of the things that you've learned over the last 4 years in Year 6's case of the work that we've done on our values should stand you in good stead when you go on to secondary school. Thank you very much for coming to our assembly this morning, our final Perseverance Assembly. I hope again there was something for you to take away. Well done to everyone once again who's worked so well on Google Classrooms, accessing challenges, interacting and engaging with the school during these last 15 weeks or so. Everyone's done a fantastic job, and you will be we'll be sharing some interesting little insights towards the end of the week. So even though this is the last Perseverance Assembly, you may be seeing me in some other sort of guises in the next week or so, because we do have various celebration assemblies and so on coming up. But once again, make sure you continue to stay safe. Thank you for everyone who's accessed these Perseverance assemblies and has worked continually as hard as you have done. In the meantime, thank you very much and take care. See you later.